Okay. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. Let me make sure everything is sorted. Let's see this. Okay. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Let me make sure the audio is sounding good because sometimes the settings isn't the right setting. See, I sorted it out now. Like, gotta make sure everything's doing well. So, yeah. Whoop. Okay. Let's go here. Make sure everything is working on my end. Yep. Okay. Looks good. It looks good. It looks good. Okay. Let me just give a chance for people to jump in the stream, and we can start this discussion about Hugo Ekitike going to Newcastle, and this opening the door for a potential move for Alexander Isak, and obviously we got Konate. This is a nice chill morning stream. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Talking Reds, a Liverpool channel that is up and coming. So we're close to 1K. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, share it out there, man, because there's a lot to talk about. We've had a Ornstein bumper. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. So get commenting. Let's get discussing and let's get talking. I see 4 people in the chat. Get commenting, get discussing because there's a lot to talk about. So, yesterday we had the news that Newcastle have bidded for Hugo Ekitike. I think the amount that they've opened with is like 70 million. But let me double check that right now on my other screen. Let me double check that right now. But I'm pretty sure Newcastle, from what I've seen, are willing to smash their transfer record to get Hugo Ekitike. And that has a lot of implications of what that means for Newcastle, how they're going to line up, and how things are going to pan out in terms of what's the word I'm looking for? In terms of the overall structure of how things are going to be laid out in terms of their lineup. Because what Newcastle's biggest strength is their physicality in their midfield, and the fact that they have a lot of energy and a lot of runners. When you are in a situation where you're getting another striker, you could take away from the midfield, or you could take away from the wings. And reason being is, if they were to do a 4-4-2 diamond where they have no actual wingers and you have Ekitike, actually let me break it down to you. Let me break it down to you. Okay, let me break it down to you. Let me show you the issue with Newcastle signing Ekitike and why they cannot keep Alexander Isak while signing an Ekitike, especially if they're going this hard on Ekitike. Because I generally think it doesn't work, and I generally think that it makes the Elanga signing pointless, and it also makes Gordon kind of in a difficult round. Plus, they got Harvey Barnes, they got Jacob Murphy, they got all of these other players. So if you're really looking at it from a logical standpoint, it doesn't really make any sense for them to sign Hugo Ekitike and keep Isak. And I'm gonna show you now. Hold up. Let me see if I. Oh yeah, squad. Because we're gonna build Newcastle squad real quick. We're gonna build Newcastle squad real bit quick, and you're gonna see what I mean about someone's getting sold. And I think it's Isak. Someone's getting sold for the FFP reasons. I think it's gonna be Isak, and I think that's where we come in and we swoop in, because surely we don't get a free run at Ekitike without having some. Okay, let me bring up the comments. Okay, let's bring this up. Okay. Of course we have something up, obviously. We have to, because the one inevitable thing is Nunes is getting sold. And obviously with the unfortunate passing of Diogo Jota, this is something that has to happen. This is something that has to happen. Like I said, you can't sign Hugo Ekitike or go this hard for Hugo Ekitike, putting in bids for Hugo Ekitike if you're not selling Isak. 4-4-2 diamond is not going to work. What, you're going to play Elanga in the 10? Because that's what is inevitably going to look like. That like if I'm being honest with you, that's what is inevitably going to look like. Like, is inevitably going to look like Elanga going in the 10, and you and I and the chat, which I give a lot of credit to, understands that's not going to work. That is not going to work. That is not going to work. Okay. Let me see if I can get everything up so that I can show you what I mean. Let me see. Let's go to Twitter. Let me see if I can get this up, because, like I said, it's just not going to work. It just doesn't make any sense. It just does not make any sense. I did a post last night, and I've had Newcastle fans saying they're gonna play for. No, okay, you play. Okay, so you do that, yeah. You take it. Who you sacrificing? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, having someone like a Joel Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Tonali for the Newcastle style is very perfect. If you put two in midfield, you are leaving your team light, very light, very top heavy, and they're going to lose a lot of midfield battle because they're going to get overrun with the overwhelming amount of bodies in midfield. If they want to do that, which they can, technically, they're opening the door to be to get cooked in matches. It doesn't matter if you got Isak. It doesn't matter if you got Ekitike, Elanga, and Gordon. In certain games, they are going to get baptized. In certain games, they are going to get thoroughly cooked because they're just going to be chasing shadows. And if you're against a team that has that extra man in midfield, like a Man City, a Liverpool, a Arsenal, a Chelsea, you're gonna feel that. You're gonna feel that, especially if you have players in midfield like a Szoboszlai, a Caicedo, players that can cover up a lot of ground, that know how to be in multiple different positions all at once. You're gonna feel that in the midfield. So if Newcastle were to do that, they are not getting back in the Champions League the following season after, which will then put them in FFP trouble because they're going to need to balance the books. They're saying they just got linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well this morning. This could be a legitimate. Okay, because Isak is going out the door. But as Liverpool fans, we've got to stay calm. Nothing's official. Nothing's done. And all we know is that Liverpool are going for a striker. We don't know what striker. We've been looking. We've been pondering. We've been waiting. We haven't really done anything. And obviously with the unfortunate passing of Diogo, a lot of things have been a bit slower because we need time to mourn for a player that has been gone too soon. So when you put that into effect, a lot of things are a little bit slower than we would have liked it to be, but it goes to show with the nature of what's happening. Facts. Okay, let's see what Adrian's saying. Facts. You don't know how Newcastle are going to line up next season. Salty tears. Okay, so I'm gonna look at it. Let me get the lineup. Let me see if someone put a lineup out there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let me show you this. Okay. Wait, hold up. Let me put myself in the corner. Okay. So you see this right here. That, like, does this look like a good lineup to you? So no Livramento, no Lewis who? Okay. Let me break it down for you guys. Early in the window, they rejected Man City's 60 million bid for Livramento. They rejected Man City's 60 million bid for Livramento. What, to put him on the bench? Plus they need another centre back. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like when you look at this lineup, it does not strike fear to me. It seems very forced. It seems like someone that created it is trying to desperately find a way to make Isak and Ekitike work. But the reality of it is Newcastle will be taken away from what they're good at to make it work. What, you're forcing Alanga in there, you're forcing Gordon in there, and now you've sacrificed your two key fullback in Lewis Hall and Livramento. Livramento, if you knew you weren't going to play him, you should have just sold him to Man City for 60 million. Just take the money. Why are you rejecting the bid? Why are you saying he's not for sale? Why are you saying you're not going to negotiate for him? Just for what? To leave him on the bench? Does that logically make any sense? And also, guys, I see 15 people in the stream. Hit the like button, subscribe, like the video. I'm going to double check to see how many likes we got because it helps this channel out a lot and it helps us get to where we want to be in the algorithm. Let me look at the comments. Okay. Okay. Not getting overly excited yet, but the noise is positive. Yeah, who knows, man? Real Madrid could sell Vinicius Jr., decide to play Mbappe on the wing, and then get Isak, which we're gonna talk about Konate later. And I don't like Real Madrid, man. I haven't liked Real Madrid in a long time, but we're gonna talk about that shit later, man. We are gonna talk about that shit later. Okay. Newcastle are trying to force Liverpool into buying Ekitike to stop us from going after Isak. Hey man, that's an interesting way of forcing someone to buy Ekitike if you're bidding 80 million. That's a bit extreme. That's a bit extreme. Why are you trying to force us to buy somebody else if your player's not for sale? A player's got 3 years left on his contract. You said he's untouchable. You said he's not for sale, but you're trying to force us into buying Ekitike. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. A player that you said is untouchable. You said it has to be 150. No one can touch him. No one can buy him. But I'm hearing now that this is a ploy to stop Liverpool from signing Isak. Isak got 3 years on his contract. We're not making Newcastle do anything. Newcastle are in the driver's seat. It just comes down to whether Isak wants to leave. If Isak ain't going to force a move, for the most part, Newcastle have all the power. If I'm being realistic with you guys. Okay. Adrian is not being salty. It's a fact you won't be dropping any of your midfielders because they're probably one of the best mid. Yes. If you look at why Liverpool struggled against Newcastle over the last couple of years, even the game where we won, where Nunez got the brace, and obviously the game at Anfield, we struggled. Obviously, the games that we played against them last season, we struggled. One of the biggest factors that we got to keep in mind is the fact that Newcastle were too powerful and too physical for us. We got physically dominated, we got physically bullied, and that's where Newcastle win their battle. I'm going to be real with you Newcastle fans are in the stream. You guys, with the way you guys play football, with the way you guys operate, and the system you operate, Ekitike, you don't need you. Okay, let me reword this wisely. You guys can still be a good team without Isak. Isak is a good player. He is an important player, but he is not your most important aspect to your team. Your most important aspect to your team is your midfield. Your Bruno Guimaraes, your Tonali, and your Joe Linton. Those are the most important factors. If you got Elanga and you got Gordon, and then you have a Hugo Ekitike, Newcastle will be fine. Shit, drop my phone. Newcastle will be fine. So having Isak and not having Isak, if you get a comparable replacement, you guys will be fine. Like honestly, you guys will be fine. It's just about not like doing what you're doing now in terms of this lineup on the screen. Not good. Not good. Not good. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Liverpool are waiting for Newcastle to get their targets before the bid. Otherwise, other clubs will want some more money. Also, this 4-4-2 team, Ekitike and Isak operation in the same. Bro, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I don't even know, man. Okay. Newcastle aren't playing 3-5-2 with Alanga Gordon wing back. Okay, let me ask you this. I didn't create this lineup. People are trying to figure out how Newcastle gonna play. People are trying to figure out how Newcastle are gonna play. Because if you want to keep it the same as last season and you want depth, one of these guys are holding bench. Do you think Newcastle in a position to pay 80 plus million for a guy to hold bench? Keep in mind that first bid will be rejected because Frankfurt are gonna look close to 100 million. 100 million on the bench. Do you think Newcastle can do that? I'm just asking questions. I'm not here to bring the answers. I'm just asking you guys questions. This is a free-flowing discussion. Okay, Eddie Howe and Edwards are very good friends, and behind the scenes, Edwards and Eddie Howe would have talked about Isak. If it was true about Isak, then Edwards would know from Eddie Howe. Hey man, you could be my friend. You could be good homies, but business is business, you know. Sometimes you got to look at it from a different angle. Yes, they are friends. Yes, he might do a good job, but Eddie Howe, regardless of whether he wants to help a friend out, he got to think about it himself as well. He got to think about his family as well. He got to think about that. I am an employee. I work for Newcastle. He got to think about it like that. At the end of the day, regardless of how I feel about Edwards, I got to cover my own ass in terms of protecting my job. Because now we're in the Champions League. I got to make Champions League something that's stable. I got to make this continuous. I got to make this keep on happening, you know? And that's the biggest thing about this. Like, that's what he got to keep in mind. Okay, let's see. Boom. Let's see. Okay, I brought up this one. Let's see. Edwards would have informed journalists to shut this down, but it's silent. We just gotta wait and see. There's a lot of waiting game that's going into this. Okay, let's see. Same damn comment. Okay, this one. Let's scroll down. Newcastle pushing their PR spin. Yeah, they can push with their PR spin, but if Isak want to go, he want to go. Other clubs will watch Newcastle and Isak for more money from their... Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's see. Check Ekitike and Isak's hotspots. You'll see. I know their hotspots. Their hotspot is the left-hand side, man. I know their hotspots. I've watched a lot of Ekitike. I'm not sure if you guys know this about me, or you probably don't know this about me. I play football and I'm a striker. I played up to semi-pro. Had a bunch of professional tryouts. The spaces that they like to operate are places that I like to operate. That left-hand side, because I like to drift in. I like to be in a good position so I can cut in and bend in the corner, or drifting behind so I can do the open up the body shot into the far corner. So I recognize those spaces. So I don't blame them for one of those spaces, especially if you're a right-footed player in the modern era of football. A lot of players don't have the comfortability of popping up in either side. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. But keep in mind, people forget Ekitike has played up front or played off a guy called where have you seen that? Well, hold on 1 minute. Where have you seen that? Where have you seen? I'm gonna look. Where have you seen that? Okay. Back to what I was saying. Ekitike can play in the front too. The issue isn't he can't play in the front too. The issue is the way Newcastle's team is constructed. It makes no sense for him to be in a front two because they're just weakening the team. Okay, let's see. It seems Newcastle are prepared for. Okay, let's see. He needs to be telling Newcastle he wants to go. He does. Maybe a lot of things happen in the back scene. Because one thing that people got to realize is we're always behind by like a week. We're always a week behind. We're gonna see the bumper, regardless of what happens. We're gonna see a Liverpool bumper because Nunez's exit is inevitable. Glad he got that goal in his final game for Liverpool, but we're gonna see a bumper because 3 hours ago we seen Newcastle have no intentions to part way with Isak. According to David Ornstein's just regurgitating what they're telling him to say. So Liverpool, so they have no intention to part ways, but we want a top forward. Everybody knows in the current climate of 2025, everybody knows in the current climate of 2025, top forwards are very slim. Newcastle have stated many times Isak is staying. Okay, that's cool. Tell me your lineup. I'm not saying he's going or leaving. Tell me a lineup that works because I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me get this lineup again. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bro. And this I ain't gonna lie to you. Where's the lineup? Let me find that lineup I was looking at. Where is it? Okay. Tell me a lineup. Because bro, I am not going to lie to you. This shit right here is not it. I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a couple of seconds. Tell me your lineup. Because why didn't you sell Livramento? Why is there no Lewis Hall? Who is getting sacrificed? And if you want to sacrifice Joe Linton and go Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali, why would you sacrifice Joe Linton? Joe Linton's been one of your key players, and his physicality makes it tough against top teams. Why would you want to suffer that? What, you're gonna play Lango wingback? I'm just asking the questions because it's gonna be hard to keep people happy. It's gonna be very hard to keep people happy. What, you're gonna go 4-4-2 diamond and not play wingers? Also, Ekitike. So you want to play Ekitike on the left. So you bid 90 million to play Ekitike on the left. What does that mean for Gordon? Is Gordon getting sold? I'm just asking you a question. Is Gordon getting sold? So you move Ekitike to the left. Let me ask you this question, chat. Is Ekitike a better left winger than Gordon? 2 up top. Okay. So are you still doing a midfield 3? Are you doing a diamond? Are you going to do wing backs? And if you're doing wing backs, why are you going to play Lewis Hall? Like, what are we doing? That's all I'm asking. At the end of the day, what you guys got to have more faith in your team. Your team does not need Isak. What your team needs is for this midfield to not be broken up, because this midfield for teams is a problem. These three cannot be broken up. If I'm a Newcastle fan, and I would sell one of the. I would either keep Isak and go for one of these three, or get Ekitike and go for one of these three. I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to sack. And this is a World Cup, bro. This is a World Cup here. People are not going to sacrifice all of this stuff in a year where you're trying to get into the World Cup. Because if I'm Ekitike, I think I can get in there over Marcos Thuram. I think I can get in there over Koulibaly. I think I can get in there over these other guys. But that's my personal opinion. At the end of the day, I'm not saying rotation. That's cool. But as much as we bought Chiesa for rotation, Chiesa hasn't sniffed a single minute. What you got? 3 or 4 times in his career. One thing you got to keep in mind: this is a World Cup year. Everybody wants to play as many games as possible. At the end of the day, You don't need to force anything. I'm not saying he's going to go to Liverpool because he could go to Real Madrid. He could go to any other club. This is just the point of what works for the team. Me as a Liverpool fan, I just want us to not get Benjamin Sesko. And let me bring this comment up because after this, I want to talk about thing. No Isak. To be fair, he don't need a new contract at this moment in time because he's got 3 years left. He don't need a new deal. He don't need a new deal. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Let's move on to talk about Konate. Let's talk about Konate. And I'm sure you guys have seen that Konate's links to Real Madrid are hotting up. And my personal opinion is this, and it's very simple. I'm not even gonna act like my opinion is gonna be too crazy or anything insane or whatnot. But my opinion is very straightforward. And guys, there are 28 people in the stream, man. Come on. At least let's get up to double figure likes. At least let's get up to double figure likes. Come back to me at the end of the window and let's have another conversation where Isak is. Okay. Let me address this before I move on to Konate. Bro, you can keep Isak. But if your plan is to play Isak in a front two and you're sacrificing Gordon, Livramento, or even Elanga's best position, you guys are not sniffing Champions League next year. I want you to know this. I want you to know this. You guys are not sniffing Champions League next year because you guys are being so stubborn to try and disrupt your core to add a player that you don't necessarily need. If you want to put Ekitike on the bench, by all means. But you got to sweeten him up with words of encouragement. And if Liverpool allow you to get a free running, if Liverpool allow you to get a free running and you guys end up getting both and we end up coming empty-handed, fair play. I'm pissed off at Liverpool, fair play. But Liverpool are playing a very dangerous game because I'm not going to lie to you. There's not that many strikers that move me in this available on the market. Osimhen looks like he's going Galatasaray. Victor Gyökeres looks like he's going Arsenal. And who else is left? And then we got Benjamin Sesko. And then we got Hugo Ekitike, who looks like he's going to Newcastle. We need to get a striker. We're selling Darwin Núñez. Jota has unfortunately passed away. We legitimately have no number 9. We have no number 9. We have nobody that can play striker. Obviously, we've seen the links with Mateta, but generally speaking, we have nobody that can play striker. Newcastle are trying to convince him for one more year, except he didn't grow up dreaming about being... Yo, why you dissing the Nigerian brother, Shola Amiobi, man? You had some good moments. I remember back in the day when Shola Amiobi was on the come up, they tried to market him as the next Alan Shearer, which is crazy when you look at it. But Shola Amiobi, he was solid. He had a good couple of seasons in the championship. Was pretty injury prone, but hey, man, that's disrespectful, man. You got that from Don Hassan. I know you got that from Don Hassan. But yeah, enough of this talk. We are moving on. Let's talk about Konate. Are we in a sticky situation? No, I think it's pretty straightforward. You keep Konate, you let him go for free if he wants to go for free. At the end of the day, our priority is to win the Premier League again and to win the Champions League. We've got Salah and Virgil van Dijk, who got 2 years left on their contract. So you maximize what you can get out of them. Very simple. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. And yeah, It's that simple. At the end of the day, I do not understand the appeal of Real Madrid at this point in time. Obviously, Galacticos, the nice weather, the baddies over there, man. All of that stuff, man. All of this nice stuff, man. The PR spin, the stuff that they do for you. All of this glorious stuff that Real Madrid brings to you. But I am not willing to hear Ibrahima Konate go to a press conference and say, hey, I want a new challenge. I'm going to Real Madrid to win. I don't want to hear that bull crap, because at the end of the day, Real Madrid got their own problems. They can barely sign Vinny to a new contract. They got Rodrigo, who might be staying or going. They got pimp smacked by PSG. They got a new manager who some people that are Real Madrid fans are saying that, is this guy going to last long? They got their own problems. You've seen the resurgence of Barcelona with the new stars like Lamine Yamal. You got all of these stuff happening in Spain. So it is easier said than done. Konate can go over there and try and go there and winning. But at the end of the day, one thing that players need to realize when it comes to staying or going to Real Madrid, if Real Madrid are better than Liverpool, it would make sense. If Real Madrid are legitimately better than Liverpool, it would make sense. But at this moment in time, Liverpool are a better team than them. So other than history, and other than what they've done in the past, why would you go over there? The team is dysfunctional. Mbappe dropped 40 goals and ended up winning nothing. You got to look at it from this way. Konate, you played against Real Madrid and you saw us pimp smack them at Anfield. Like, we beat the brakes off them. At the end of the day, these players need to come to realization and to come to an understanding that when it's all said and done, yes, the money could be good. Yes, the signing on bonuses could be good and all that stuff. If Liverpool are underpaying him and not giving him the contract that he deserves, fair play. Fair play, yes. You can be egregious, but if Liverpool are giving you the money you deserve, and this is a tactic for you to just wiggle your way out of Real Madrid and to go to Real Madrid on a free, that is a bit scummy. But at the end of the day, football's a short career. Do what you want to do. Move how you want to move. But realistically, you can't sit up here and say, I'm going here for trophies. I'm going here for opportunity. I'm going here to win, when the club you're at is in a better position to win than the club you're twerking for. Like, you're potentially moving in 2026. What if Liverpool go in the Champions League, win the Champions League, win the Premier League, and win, let's say, an FA Cup? What, you still want to go? Is Real Madrid still the best option? Like, come on, Konate, you gotta look at it realistically. You do not know what state Real Madrid is gonna be at. You do not know if Xabi Alonso is gonna stay or go. At the end of the day, you gotta look at it. You gotta look at it from a realistic standpoint. Football's very unpredictable in terms of the winners and the losers. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that. He got to understand that, honestly. Let's see the chat. Okay, we got 30 people on the stream. Slap the like button, subscribe. Slap the like button and subscribe. We are 108. We are not 108. 803 subscribers. So let's get this up. Let's get this up. Yeah, we got 11 likes. We got 30 people in the stream. We can get this up to like 16, maybe even 20. Come on, guys. We can do better than this. Okay, let me look at what the chat's saying. Okay. I'm just going to speed through these comments. The past is the past. The future is unwritten. Okay, that's cool. Newcastle have already been writing. Okay. Konate goes if he doesn't sign. Simple. So you want to sell him this window. You can't sell him this window. You got to maximize Salah and Van Dijk's primes. Then the tail end of their prime, we got to maximize this. We got to keep them and we go again. Let him go on a free. We pick him winning. 70 years, mate, for the first trophy. Okay, guys. Okay. Hold up. There's no need to get disrespectful to Newcastle. Newcastle are a good side. They're a good club. But we got to look at it from an angle of, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? If you're looking for the best of Newcastle, Newcastle do not need Isak. They need a quality. They need a solid striker. Whether it's Isak, whether it's Ekitike, whether it's freaking Gokeres, they need someone that can fill in that position. Because regardless, man, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I reckon Newcastle can be a good team if they played Brian Mbeumo false nine. I think that team is so wellly structured that it's not necessarily Isak. It's really just having a competent body up there. Isak is more than a competent body. But with the way Newcastle play, I reckon they can do that, and I reckon they will be fine. But that's just my personal opinion. Okay. Anyways, Ekitike might not sign, but for sure, Isak has 3 years left on his current deal, so we keep dreaming. That's true. You ain't lying. Okay. Beat you lots for it. Okay, yeah, fair play. You beat us. Well done, man. We won that cup the most times. Hunch and George gave me one reason why he wouldn't go to Liverpool. Because Newcastle said no. That's really the only reason. The reason why he wouldn't go to Liverpool because Newcastle said no. Okay, let's see. Keep dreaming on Isak staying for life. Isak could stay for life, but why would he do that? Unless, okay, RSL67. It's not about what he wants. It's about Newcastle having him under contract. What if I go, I'm not turning up to training, sell me now? People don't understand. People don't understand. The players are always in control. People can go, make him train in the reserves, ruin his career. You can do that. I thought it was raining outside. You could do all that stuff, man. But when it's all said and done, the players have control. The players have all the power. Like, when it's all said and done, the players have all the power. The players have all the power. Okay. We've seen this happen to us multiple times. Okay, let's see. Transfer requests, incoming, watch. Don't think that's going to happen. If you know how football works, it takes a lot for a player to hand in a transfer request. There's a lot of money that they will lose for doing that, man. Loyalty bonuses are wide in their contract. It is extremely rare in the modern era of football for players to hand in a transfer request because there's a lot of money that they're losing and it's too dicey. It's just not worth it. You just make your intentions clear. You want to leave. You don't need to hand in a transfer request. Okay, players have all the power, not the club. That is very true. Okay, Newcastle can't fulfill his dream and pay the going rate for the player. Like I said, we don't know what Isak wants, so we just keep it moving. Just keep dreaming, though. Okay, Isak assured Alanga before he signed last week. He's 100% staying. Okay, let's see. Like I said, you guys are getting baptized if you're trying to squeeze all of them into the lineup. Remember all the Isak to Arsenal links? Yeah, we remember. Sunderland more successful than Newcastle. They won the league more times. Okay, we don't need to get disrespectful. At the end of the day, man, Blanchy, well, however the hell you pronounce your name. No offense, bro. He believes that Newcastle are not going to sell any of their players. That they're perfectly fine in FFP. Just make sure you make Champions League next season. That's what I'm going to say. Let's catch up. Okay. I was just reading that Chiesa could be used in the middle as an option if we don't sign a number 9. That's my reaction to that. Does this look happy? Does this look like someone that wants to go, okay, guys, we're selling Nunes. Unfortunately, Jota's passed away, and we're gonna keep Diaz. We're gonna run a striker combination of Diaz and Federico Chiesa. Yeah, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. Bull. Nah. Okay. We have nothing against Newcastle, but reality is clear. Got a point? Reality is clear. Ekitike is not close to Newcastle. Liverpool's insurance money, 80 million pound. Let's see what happens. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is just waiting. Okay, Newcastle have given permission for Isak to leave. It's up to Liverpool to pay the 170 million. Newcastle fans are going to lose their heads in a few hours. Bro, the source. I honestly believe Isak goes next summer, not this summer. That's fair. That's fair. I got a question. Would you what okay. What would you rather? Isak stay this summer and go for less money, or Isak go this summer for more money? What would you rather happen? We got 39 people in the stream. Come on, slap the like button. I'm gonna see the likes right now. It better be more than 11. Okay, that's better. That's better. We got 39 people. We got to get a like up. We got to get subscribing. We got to get this going a bit more. Okay. Where was I? I'm a Geordie. We're gonna play 4-4-2. Isak's getting a new contract. Okay. So you guys are weakening your midfield by having a less of a body. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? At the end of the day, if I was in a position like it's like Liverpool fans wanting Osimhen and wanting Isak. I don't think that could work because what you guys gonna understand is that's not gonna work. Newcastle's best attribute is not their attack, it's their midfield. You guys are too physically imposing. Isak only wants Liverpool. I don't know about that, but we will see. We will see. That's not his reason. That's club forcing him, which would make him leave. Okay, let's see. You're obsessed. Your obsession is stupid. Get over it. What? I don't know if you're talking to me or you're talking to someone in the chat. Okay. I'm a Geordie. Isak is going nowhere. Okay. Wait. Okay. I'm a Geordie. Isak is going nowhere. We're playing 4-4-2. Would that work though? And I have a question. You being a Geordie, what does that mean? That like, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. I'm saying what does that mean? You're a Geordie, okay? You're saying Isak's not going, okay? Is that it? You want to play 4-4-2 in 2025? What, you're going to do the diamond where there's no wingers and play Lang at the 10 and okay, let me ask you this, Newcastle fans, because we're back on Isak again. The Konate stuff is short-lived. The Isak one, we're just going to keep it like that, man. The other guys, man, if you're watching this stream, you guys are going to have to cover Konate here. The chat is too fired up on Isak, so I'm going to focus on Isak. So, do you sell Gordon? Do you sell Jacob Murphy? Do you sell Harvey Barnes? Who is getting Newcastle fans? Who is getting sold to balance the books? That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to put my opinion out there of what I want to happen, what I think will happen. I just want to know where your headspace is at. Tell me your lineup. How's the lineup going to look? And we can go from there. I'm very curious. George, he ain't signing for 150K a week. He's worth more than double. How much you reckon Liverpool offer him? What, 220, 230K a week? Okay, let's see. He could want Real Madrid. He could. But let me ask you this: when was the last time? Well, who was the last player Real Madrid played big money for? Who was the last player Real Madrid played big money for? From my memory, To a club, by the way. From my memory, I think it was Jude Bellingham. I think Jude Bellingham was the last player they paid big money for. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think he wasn't even 100 mil. I think it was like 80s, something like that. Okay. Who do you lot think you are? Proper to the... Here's the thing, man. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Isak wants to win the Premier League, and Liverpool can match his ambition. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. We got to calm down, guys. Liverpool love Jota, who was a... It was a... Okay. Bro, you're on timeout. You're on timeout. You are on timeout. You are on timeout. Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. Too soon. I'm not trying to... Here's the thing, yeah. Jota did dive. He did cheat. Blah, 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 blah. In terms of, like, all of that stuff. But I ain't trying to hear nothing negative about Jota for a while. For a while. So that's just like I said, I put you on timeout because too soon. Too soon for me. Okay. Let's go. Isak is going nowhere. I'm a Jordan. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay. Newcastle fans have passion in which I respect, but it's obvious. It's not obvious. I don't know what's happening. I'm not getting cocky. Newcastle are building a... I'm just saying, man. You guys are getting baptized if you think you can just slap two strikers up front. Okay. Who do you think you are? You're not a massive club world. Why did you son? Okay. Okay, let me see this. Jota, saying Jota is a dive and cheat technically isn't bad, but it's too soon. Calm down, man. It was just an unnecessary comment. You can just get a warning, in my opinion. I'm a Geordie, and who do you lot think you are? I don't know what... I've never seen someone say that they're a Geordie. I don't get it, man. Big up, bro. When Slot promised the club will be stronger next season, and the CEO verified that the building a team to be strong enough for the next 5 to 6 years, they knew exactly what their plans were. Okay, let's see. Chiesa is gone. Yeah, probably a football club doing transfers. 20 times league winners, 6 UCLs. That's who we are. He ain't wrong. That's who we are. Liverpool can buy Ekitike. We could buy Ekitike. Most successful club in English history. That is very true. You see it there. He's telling you. How would he be less next summer? He still has 2 years. It would be less in a sense that 3 years gives you a more stronger grip. 2 years, we don't know what type of season he could have. He could get injured. There's so many alternative factors that could happen. That's how he could be less. But I'm asking you this because that wasn't what I asked you. I said, would you keep Isak this season and sell him for less next season, or would you sell him more now? Because what you got to look at it this way is this. We don't know what the striker market is going to look like. We don't know who the next emerging talent is going to look like. We don't know who's going to burst into the scene. We don't know what that's going to look like. That's what you got to keep in mind. We don't know what could happen. He could be less. He could be more. Who knows? Or he can just be around the same. But my question was, would you keep Isak this season and sell him for less next season, or will you sell him more now? Or will you sell him more now? Like that was my question. Okay. You got nothing to worry about then. Okay, that's cool. Okay, let's see what happens. Yep, okay, that's true. Each year adds money to a player. Okay, that's true. Isak will be older. That's true. Isak told us already he's going nowhere after the party, man. And Enzo Fernandez kissed the badge at Benfica and told them that he's going nowhere, that he's staying. Jude Bellingham said that he's going nowhere and went like this and said he's staying, that everyone's chatting shit, that he's staying. A lot of people, players say they're staying, man. One thing you guys got to do, don't be naive. All footballers are liars. They're frauds. They're all of this. Trent Alexander-Arnold said he wanted to end his whole entire career at Liverpool and be Liverpool captain and be a legend. He left us for free. He was planning to leave us like 2 years ago, learning Spanish and shit. So at the end of the day, man, don't believe these players, man. Believe their actions. Look at their actions. Look at what they're doing. That would be good for them guys. Disrespectful to us, Jordy Joelinton plays on the left. Then where's Gordon going? Where is Gordon going? So Gordon's on the bench. Yo, guys, you gotta keep in mind this is a World Cup year. Okay, but how does this help you with FFP? Okay, let me look at this quick. Okay. One second, I'm trying to find something. I'm very curious to see what the FFP stance will be. But we'll see. Okay. I want to know your lineup, George. A 300 million budget. How? A 300 million budget is quite a lot. It's like, but who you selling? So you're just gonna spend 300 million and just keep everybody? Like someone's got to go. At least a Jacob Murphy or a Harvey, but someone's got to go, man. One thing you got to realize is this, man. We sold Coutinho to be better, and plus he wanted to go. Sometimes selling a player makes you better because you can fix the team more. Gordon will be the one. I'm a Geordie. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. I never knew we had so many ITKs in the chat. I've never seen so many ITKs in the chat, man. This is funny. Okay. What's Newcastle's highest wage player, and how much is Liverpool's highest wage player? I think Salah's on like 400k to 450 around there. a week. Okay. Yep. Facts. If you guys are being disrespectful, we're gonna start timing people out. Because at the end of the day, this is meant to be a nice, chill discussion. Liverpool, we are trying to respect Newcastle fans. We are trying to respect Newcastle fans. That being said, I don't think I have that much to talk about. I don't think I have that much to say. I feel like this has been a very successful stream. If you guys are going to need final questions, let me know. And whatnot. Let's see. Real Madrid lower price on Rodrigo. When you lower price on someone, you're trying to get that person out the door. Especially that person's not trying to force himself out the door. Let's see. Let me look at Rodrigo before I end this. Because I actually got a message about Rodrigo. Okay. Boom. Rodrigo. Breaking news. Breaking news. Rodrigo is a clear target for Liverpool. Real Madrid value him somewhere between 60 to 80 million. I have a question. How would you guys feel if Liverpool sign Rodrigo and go, this is our new striker, and we try and turn him into the reincarnation of R9? We play Rodrigo, good finishing ability, and Rodrigo bags us like 25 to 26 goals in the Premier League, and we make him. This is the Rodrigo striker arc. How would you guys feel? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm generally curious about it. I am absolutely generally curious about that, because he's a dark horse in terms of who we could get. Because I just typed his name, and this is what came up. This guy normally has a lot of stuff out there. Chiesa is considered an option down the middle for Liverpool. So Chiesa could stay. Liverpool, please, 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 please sign a striker. I don't mind if Chiesa stays if we sign a striker. Yes, we know that's a priority, but this is not the shit I want to hear. This is not the shit I want to hear. This is not the shit I want to hear. But we'll see. But anyway, guys, I'm seeing the numbers drop. Yeah. Let's wrap up this stream. Thank you guys for having me. Talking Reds, first time on here. Most likely will not be the last. But yeah, look forward to discussing more football, talking more about Liverpool down the line. I love transfer talks. One of my favorite things to do. And yeah, guys, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're just jumping in the stream, make sure you watch the playback. We discussed a lot about Alexander Isak. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.